Hey everybody, Andrew with FindYourFuels.com here as always to be a help to you. And yes, today is time for another rant. Because as I've been going out and consulting, one of my favorite little catchphrases has been popping up and it annoys me, so I thought that I'd share that with you. And that phrase is, it's time to grow up. And usually this is from the manager talking to the worker or the employer talking to the employee. And the complaints they have are valid. Yes, you need to show up on time. Yes, you need to dress and act professionally. However, as I work with more workers in these initiatives and get to understand what's ticking behind them, where their talent actually lies, and the problem is, it seems like the problem is less on the employee side as it is on the employer side, that for as much as they tout their professionalism, there are some key areas which they need to do the growing up. So now it's time for me to turn the tables a little bit. Look, employers, managers, leaders, you need to grow up in 3 key areas. Look, in the discovery of talent, if you're not doing your work to get to know your team, you're just as bad as a coach who has a great playbook but spends no intentionality in getting to know their players. All the best plays will not work if you don't understand what the strengths and weaknesses of the team you're working with brings. If you're not getting a chance to know your people, you are that much less effective at being able to lead them, and you need to grow up. And when we say that to other people, we're basically saying, look, there's a difficult task in front of you that's going to take more than what you currently are. And especially with the discovery systems we have out there, whether it's, I don't even want to mention all the other wonderful talent assessments that are out there, we do a pretty poor job of assessing talent. We ask all the wrong questions, provide all the wrong possibilities, and the worst thing you can do to a person is to box them in and say, I know you. That's why at Fuels we create a snapshot. It's a snapshot of your talent that you can grow from, but it doesn't box you in to say this will always be you. And with the mantra of we may grow but we rarely change, we are setting a little bit of limitation, but there's still room for growth. Most of the assessments try very hard and work at length to have you answer an hour's worth of questions, possibly even do a phone interview, all to hand over to an employer or a leader a 26-page dissertation on who this person is. I don't care if it's completely right. The human spirit, if felt confined, they will rebel. So you know what, employers, we need to do a little bit of growing up ourselves to say, look, discovering talent is not as easy and as straightforward as we've made it to be. Especially in the developing of that talent, we need to grow up. If you're not going to do the work to get to know somebody, or at least to know where they're starting from, you really have no authority to tell them where to go next. It's like walking into a doctor's office and them starting to write out the prescription. Looks like a common cold to me. I have a twisted ankle. Nope. Seen this many times before. I know what to do in this case. It's ridiculous. And yet, as people come into our doors for development and we're trying to create a training protocol to maximize their potential, we don't even take a chance to get to know what their potential might be. Are we taking a talented customer service person and not only suffocating their talents by not allowing them opportunities to build relationships, but stretching them in an area that they don't want to be stretched in sales? What's the purpose? A jackhammer is a very expensive paperweight, and a rock is a very bad jackhammer. It's a dumb example, but a lot of times we feel that way in the working world. It's like, why are you even trying to train me in this? I don't want to do that at all, and you don't seem to want to do it either. What the heck are we doing? Which gets us to our final thing, which is in the distribution of talent and setting expectations. You know what? Employers, you need to grow up. It's not as easy as you thought it was going to be, and you're going to have to stretch. Because when it comes to setting expectations and distributing that talent, once again, if you don't know who you're dealing with, what the heck are you in this business for? A semi-truck is a big hulking delivery vehicle, but anyone who signs it up to deliver pizzas, especially on a Friday night, is an idiot. And there are work placement situations where by not getting to know your people and not growing up to the reality of the world you live in, dealing with people who are infinitely complex and come to the table for a variety of reasons, if you're not willing to do the hard work of getting to know your people, setting expectations will be terrible. because you'll be using your own paradigm as to what's easy or what's hard, and it's all based upon your assumptions and your own personal experience. But guess what? Finding another you is infinitely impossible. Believe me, I do this for a living. I've been doing it for 9 years. For you to find a true replacement that's even close to your talent makeup is statistically impossible, especially given the limitations of time and resource you have to find and train somebody. It's not going to happen. You're you. There's only one you, and to find a replacement that is even close to your sensibilities is a waste of everyone's time. So you need to grow up. People come at it for many different reasons. Success takes many different forms. As long as they can accomplish the task in their own way within certain confinements, let it go. You need to grow up. You need to relinquish control. You need to work much harder in your placement. And for all of those of you who are cheering on the sideline saying, yeah, go get them, you need to grow up too, because you've been waiting for the employers to set the tone, to discover your talent, to develop your talent, and to distribute your talent, when the only person who's really qualified to have the final say on that is you. That statistical impossibility applies to you as well. There's not going to be another you. There's not going to be a trainer out there who knows explicitly what you bring to the table unless you do the homework to help set that expectation. Don't just be a good interviewer and sell them a product that they can't use. I myself have sold myself very well in interviews and confidently asserted my value to the organization when in fact I was just a bad idea in the first place, and we eventually found out in the worst way possible, which of course is either me leaving or me getting fired. Either way, I'm wasting both of our time. So I hope that's been a help in setting expectation and realizing the tough work that we all have to do in the area of placement, however that affects us. Ask any questions you want, subscribe as always, and as always, we'll see you next time to be of more help. Thanks.